I'm here to brief you on the details and arrests made regarding multiple murders that occurred in the early morning hours, or I'm sorry, the late hours of February 11th and the early morning hours of February 12th in the cities of Bell, Huntington Park, Cudahy, and the unincorporated area of Los Angeles. On February 11th at approximately 10:30 p.m., officers from the Bell Police Department responded to the 6500 block of Bear Avenue in the city of Bell regarding a report of shots fired at the location. When officers arrived on scene, they discovered a Hispanic male adult, unresponsive, suffering from a gunshot wound. Second male Hispanic adult victim was located at the scene, however, he was not injured. Los Angeles County Fire Department responded to the scene and pronounced the victim deceased at the scene. A couple hours later, on February 12th at approximately 12:04 a.m., deputies from the Century Sheriff Station responded to the 1500 block of East Florence Avenue in the unincorporated area of Los Angeles, again regarding a report of a gunshot victim. And this was in a shopping center parking lot. Upon their arrival, they discovered a Hispanic male adult suffering from a gunshot wound. Los Angeles County Fire Department paramedics responded and pronounced the victim deceased at the scene. On the same date, about 12 minutes later, at about 12:16 a.m., deputies from East Los Angeles Sheriff Station responded to the 5000 block of Live Oak Street in the city of Cudahy regarding a report of shots fired at the location. Upon their arrival, deputies discovered two male Hispanic juveniles suffering from gunshot wounds. The fire department responded and pronounced one of those juveniles deceased at the scene. The other one was treated and transported to a local hospital and treated for a gunshot wound. He is currently listed in stable condition. Later that night, at about 1:55 a.m. in the morning, an officer from the Huntington Park Police Department was on patrol, and he was driving in the 6300 block of Santa Fe Avenue in the city of Huntington Park when he observed a person lying in the street along the west curb. The officer stopped his vehicle to check on this individual's welfare. He discovered he was a male Hispanic suffering from gunshot wounds. Again, the fire department responded and pronounced the victim deceased at the scene. Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Homicides Bureau responded to each one of these murders and assumed control of these independent investigations. As each murder investigation was occurring, investigators at their respective crime scenes were communicating with one another and learned that a Honda Pilot, the possible suspect vehicle, was depicted on surveillance cameras at each of the 4 murder scenes within a relatively close time period. Investigators utilized law enforcement resources and techniques in order to attempt to identify the Honda Pilot. At 12 p.m., a special bulletin was disseminated to local law enforcement. It included pictures of the suspect vehicle. You can see it there on the screen to my left, and surveillance cameras from near the scenes of the murders. A brief synopsis indicating homicide investigators believe the 4 homicide incidents may be related. At about 2 p.m., Homicide Bureau identified the suspect vehicle and actually was able to get the license plate through our investigative techniques. And it was learned that it was entered into the law enforcement database as armed and dangerous wanted felony vehicle. At about 4 p.m., the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department deputies working patrol observed the suspect vehicle matching the description in the law enforcement bulletin and conducted a traffic stop of that suspect vehicle. Homicide detectives responded, and the suspect was transferred into the custody of Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department homicide detectives, and he was booked for murder. It appears this was a random murder spree. However, homicide investigators have not ruled anything out. There may be other incidents, but at this time, we don't have any information indicating that. This is preliminary information, and these investigations are ongoing. Please understand there are details about this case that I'm not going to be able to discuss in order to maintain the integrity of the investigation. This case will be presented to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office later on this week. I would like to thank the members of our Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department for all their hard work. They worked countless hours, lots of detectives, dozens of detectives didn't sleep for 36 hours working this case to make sure that we brought someone, took somebody to jail for this, and justice was served. I want to specifically thank Operation Safe Streets, Fraud and Cyber Crimes Bureau, the Body-Worn Camera Unit, our Major Crimes Bureau, and most of all, the investigators and the crime analysts from Homicide Bureau, which were involved in piecing this case together, these cases together. I also like to thank members of the Century and East Los Angeles sheriff stations, and our close working relationship with the City of Bell and Huntington Park police departments. They also assisted us in this investigation. Lastly, I'd like to thank the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department for their proactive policing and hard work, which led to the arrest of one of the suspects in these murders. Again, like I said, the investigation is ongoing, and currently there's no additional information at this time, but if there's if the public has any information about any of these murders, I'd like you to please call LA County Sheriff's Homicide Bureau at 323-890-5500.